go. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh, good morning, good morning. How you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over, and let's do it again. It is Wednesday. Wow, the week is going so fast, and I just love doing this. I've been sitting here talking to my friends, Amy and Turtle Evans. It's so funny because I've been trying to kind of maneuver. Aaron Slate's supposed to be coming in at 7:30. And bless him, he didn't have a babysitter this morning, and that's what happened. So we don't have Aaron. So I've been trying to kind of get somebody else in here at 7:30. But as I'm talking to y'all, I'm thinking, man, I think I could probably talk to y'all for an hour. Y'all are so interesting. These are the proprietors of Deja Mu. We're so excited about y'all because we needed something like this in Springfield.
How can you go by with ice cream, right?
I know. I love it. So I don't know where to start because as I'm sitting here talking to them and getting to know them, I was talking about my grandson coming in with us and just having so much fun because your place is fun. All the things you have out on the porch, you've got the paintings and all of those things. And a friend of mine did your cow that's right there by the register.
Karen?
Oh, she's so good.
She is good.
When I found out that was her painting, I'm like, what?
Yes.
And
actually, that was a gift to us. We were doing a life group, and they gave that to us as a gift.
They had her commission it, and it was, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, she's, you talk about, I got to get her in here to talk about hidden talent.
She's talented.
Because she's only picked up her paintbrush in the last few years. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about Karen some other time. But I truly, the painting's so cute.
Yes, it is.
That's one of the pictures that I have of my grandson and my husband standing there at the counter.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was hers, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
And you just never know. You just never know. So
She's local too, so that means a lot too.
she's at the gallery.
Yeah.
See, the gallery is my, Penny Callis has been my hairdresser forever.
Yes.
And so I've gotten anybody that comes through the gallery, I get to know.
Yes.
And so there's a painting in where they wash your hair and stuff that she also did.
Yes.
And so I'm just blown away. But when I found out that was hers, and it's just your place, you walk in and you're just like, you just smile.
Yes.
You can't help yourself.
Right.
Was that the plan? You're smiling.
Well,
That was my goal.
We want it to be fun,
Yeah.
and especially for the kids.
Yes.
For us, we love nothing more than seeing kids walk in, smiling, running up to the counter, jumping on that step, looking at the ice cream. That's what makes our day. It really is.
I love it.
So much fun.
Okay, so I just love y'all. Y'all are so stinking cute. And as soon as they walked in, they're just like this big smile. And I guess first I want to know, when I said, how long have y'all been doing this? I kind of thought that maybe this is something y'all been doing for a long time when I saw the store, but this is a new enterprise for y'all.
We've never done a business before, so this is a total new thing for us.
How's it going?
It's going great.
Good.
Wonderful.
We want to keep you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We've got to keep we've got to work, and really support our local businesses.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves it. We've had a few meetings in there. I'm on the board with Recovery Court, and we've popped in there and had meetings and it's just so much fun. I just love it. But I just can't say enough about it. And your ice cream's wonderful.
Thank you.
It's just very, very good. And but why? What made you think to do this? Have you always made eyes? What's the story behind this?
Well, that's a story. There's actually a Deja Vu in White House. Ronnie and Carl own the one in White House.
Okay.
And Amy and I had talked for several years, kind of passively, about doing a business. Mm-hmm. And back in January of 2022, I used to be a police officer, and I was working a job at Bridgestone. A snowstorm happened. Took me an hour and 45 minutes to get home. She had been to the Deja Vu in White House. I never had. She kept trying to get me to go. That next morning, we're sitting in the living room, and she said, "Oh, it's pajama day at Deja Vu." And I said, come on, let's go. Just giving in, go to Deja Vu, get it over with. And within 15 minutes of walking into that place, I looked at her and I said, this is what I would like to do. And we met with Carl and Ronnie. Listen, we walked in there that day, and we loved the brand, we loved the atmosphere, we loved the people, and we knew that was what we wanted to do. So we actually started the process in January of 2022, and we opened up January the 10th of 23.
How cool! How cool is that? I love it. I just love this, and the name is fun. The atmosphere is fun. So, is your atmosphere different from others, or is it pretty much? Do they try to kind of keep that same? Because y'all store is so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
There's only two Deja Vus. There's the one in White House and the one in Springfield.
Okay.
And it's, what we try to put out there as far as the brand, the energy, is the same at both locations.
Okay.
As far as the decorations and stuff, White House is a little bit different.
Sure.
But as far as what we try to do for our customers and the ice cream, matter of fact, the ice cream, Ronnie and Carl traveled all over around the country to select the ice cream that we serve because they wanted the best ice cream in America. Mm-hmm. And I think they came pretty close to doing that if they didn't do it. Yeah.
Ice cream.
It's fun. It is so much fun, and we're just so thrilled to have it here in the heart of Springfield. Gwen Harder's chiming in. Best ice cream in Springfield, absolutely. We just all love it. It's just a blast. It is just a blast. But you guys, as y'all sit down, and one of the things I'm like, you're so stinking cute is, I mean, you can just tell y'all love each other so much.
Oh, thank you.
And I said, how long have you been married? So, I love sitting down in here because people will come in, they're like, what are we going to talk about for 30 minutes? I'm like, we're just going to sit on the porch and talk. That's what we're doing. So I'd love to hear y'all's story because you were saying y'all were high school sweethearts.
We were. Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, things happen in life, and, you learn by the choices that you make, and sometimes they're mistakes, and you learn big lessons from them. But, we dated for 5 years, and
in high school?
We did. We were high school sweethearts.
5 years. Yeah. Okay.
And we broke up. And, obviously after that, a series of events happened. And we still, ran into each other. We were still friends and that kind of thing. But, honestly, we both know that it was the Lord that brought us back together. And for the last 13 years, we have been blissfully happy being together. And I was going to say, in this business, we knew we wanted to do something, but didn't know what at the time. And then we got Deja Mu brought to our attention, and you have to have a strong marriage. I have found to have a business because it's hard. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, and but I think we're a pretty good team, and I think we complement each other.
I think so too. I think it's just obvious. I mean, and I just love to see this story of a renewed love. Are y'all from here?
We both grew up Madison, Goodlettsville, so we're local.
Really?
Local kids.
So we were talking about church backgrounds. I work at the Madison Church of Christ.
I was actually baptized Madison Church of Christ.
Who baptized you?
Our North.
Oh,
Goes back a while.
One of Ira's kids. Well, that's so interesting because I was working full-time at the Madison Church of Christ when they recruited me to teach high school. So now I'm the audio video teacher there, but I still am part-time at Madison because I work with missions. We were talking about going to Mexico, and I also am the lead on the Celebrate Recovery along with a whole lot of other people. But I still work there very part-time, and so that's interesting. As soon as you said Madison, Goodlettsville, I'm like, well, what school did you go to? Now I'm really curious.
Well, he went to Madison, graduated from Madison.
Okay.
I went to Goodlettsville for a while, but I transferred to McGavock for some courses out there.
Oh, my goodness.
It's kind of funny you talk about missions. We actually met on a missions trip.
What, reconnected?
No,
where we met in
that's how we met.
1982.
Yep.
Where were you going?
Virginia.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's funny because I actually had a girlfriend, and I was out in the middle of a creek sitting on a rock, and this little bitty skinny girl with chicken legs wearing little navy blue shorts and a sailor top and little white lace socks come on and plopped down right beside me. And we're just sitting there talking, and then about that time my girlfriend walked up, put her hands on her hip, and walked off mad.
It was meant to be, right?
From there, it just kind
of
took off.
How cute. Which church were you traveling with? Was it
Parkway Baptist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't you love these backstories? I just love how God moves, man. It is so fun. It is so fun. Where do y'all worship now?
We're at Grace Baptist here in Springfield.
Okay, very good. That's a great group.
Yep.
But we're talking with Amy and Turtle Evans, and they are the proprietors of Deja Mu, which we all love. And it's a great place to, if you haven't been, get there. What are the hours?
We're open from 7 to 9 right now.
Every day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week, and we will be changing our hours here soon, where we'll close at 8 o'clock.
Well,
for winter. But one of the things that I want to let everybody know is that we have a party room that we can close off for birthday parties, any type of parties you want to have. We also are wide open we can use that same space for meeting space because, it has barn doors, so we can close those barn doors, makes it very private, but you still get to be in a place away from the office to have a meeting, and you've got great food and great ice cream. And that's another thing that I really want to point out. It's not just ice cream.
No,
I love great food.
Well, here's the thing with our food, okay? All of our food is made fresh. We don't microwave anything. The only thing we microwave are cinnamon rolls, and our cinnamon rolls are made from scratch in-house.
Oh, wow.
But all of our food is made fresh. We don't fry anything. We don't even have a grill top. Everything on our menu, all the sandwiches and wraps and burritos, are cooked on waffle presses.
Okay.
So it gives them a completely different texture than anything you would go anywhere else and get. Okay. And our coffee menu, which I'm going to turn over to Amy because she's the coffee guru.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very extensive. I mean, we have seasonal coffees. We just had released our seasonal menu out not long ago. So, I would encourage everybody to come out and try it. If you don't think you like iced coffee, because I never was an iced coffee person either, iced coffee is my favorite now. I love iced coffee.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
I'm a hot coffee person. I
Need
really
to try
am.
some iced coffee, and we have some great baristas in the shop, and they'll make you anything you want. If you don't see something on the menu and you want to try something, they'll fix you up. We're there to cater for you.
Do you do the pumpkin spice thing that everybody's doing?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's just the obsession with coffee, folks. And I like just coffee.
Black oat,
You know,
plain black coffee.
Well, but I mean, I put the cream and stuff
Yeah.
in it, but I like just a good strong coffee. I could probably be an espresso person.
Yeah.
But I haven't dabbled in it enough. But do you do espressos?
We have
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Absolutely.
Everything you want.
What's the? Because I mean, I think I know the difference between espresso and coffee. Can you kind of explain it to me?
Espresso is just much stronger, has more caffeine in it than coffee does. Espresso gives you that extra kick, is what it does.
Yeah.
So it's just really, I mean, that's the way I've always interpreted because I've had espresso. I'm like, well, this is just really strong coffee.
Keeps you buzzing all day.
Yeah, truly. Maybe give you a little bit of a shake too if you don't have have
right.
a cinnamon roll with it.
Well, and you mentioned pumpkin spice on the coffee part. We also right now have pumpkin pie ice cream.
Oh,
It's delicious. And our cinnamon rolls right now are also pumpkin.
We also have pumpkin cinnamon rolls.
I love that.
we do.
So who makes your cinnamon rolls?
Nana.
Yes.
Cheryl, who is Carl, who owns the White House location.
Okay.
It's his mom, and she also makes our chicken salad is made from scratch in house. Soups are made in house.
Yeah.
What else? Brownies are made from scratch in house. And listen,
Fun stuff.
well, she does an amazing job, and I also want to take this opportunity to just tell you, our team is absolutely amazing.
Awesome team.
We have an awesome team of employees. They work hard, but we also tell them we want them to have fun.
Yeah, and you can tell that. And you go in there, and I've never had a bad experience in there, and it's just wonderful. It just, like I said, you walk into Deja Vu and you just start smiling.
Absolutely.
You
How can you not?
Yeah,
It's
you
just a
just
fun
start
place.
smiling.
The murals, the colors.
Yes,
You know,
so
we want
much.
to greet everybody when they come in. We want to make them feel like family. You know, when we were, hiring for the shop before we opened, when we would sit down and talk to every candidate that we had, we told them, you know what, you're going to be our family.
Yeah.
And we truly do mean that, and I hope that they feel that, because we really appreciate and value every single person that's working for us, because we couldn't do it without them.
No, absolutely. We're talking with Amy and Turtle Evans. I got to know the meaning behind turtle, but I got to do a break.
Okay.
I'm like, as soon as Lee Marie, thank you for hooking me up with our wonderful guest this morning. But as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, well, there's a story. Gotta be a story. So we're going to continue our conversation in just a moment. But I want to remind you, in real estate, you need people to represent you that know exactly what they're talking about. Number one, that understand the area. Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team cannot say enough about how much that they know about the community. Rebecca is the broker in White House. Barry is the broker up here in Springfield. They just opened an office in Springfield on the square, so you can go and talk to them. If you want to connect with them, you can just Google them. You'll find, if you go Barry, or if you go Rebecca Richards at Exit Realty, you'll find her Facebook page. You'll also find her webpage. There you'll find all the links on how to search the exact property that you're looking for. On Barry's page, I talk about them being a team, but he's like, well, we kind of compete against each other. And but he's got a button on his page that says historic, and it'll talk about some of the historic properties that they've represented. Not just houses, but also businesses that they've sold that were historic properties. But they're just a great group to work with, the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They're saying, if you want to be a realtor, why don't you let us mentor you and help you open that door? Because a lot of people maybe do this on the side. Now they're full-time. Rebecca came out of another career about 15 years ago. Barry, about 4 or 5 years ago, he was a vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville. And so he brings that expertise in marketing to real estate. Again, great friend. You see him all over around the community. Anything that you need in real estate. And you know what? He can tell you a lot about bees too, and helps me with audio and video all the time. But they're a great team. Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, BUY, robertsoncounty.com. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Talking with Amy and Turtle Evans. Okay, Turtle. Is that your given name? Did your mama name you Turtle?
Well, the funny part about that is I've tried to get Amy to let me legally change my name to
Amy
Turtle.
says no.
But that's a no-go. But the story behind that is my grandfather played a smidgen of Major League Baseball. So from a very, very young age, I was always fascinated with baseball.
Okay.
And, you know, when you're watching baseball on TV, if a guy gets a base hit, the camera's on the ball, pans to the ball, but then it gets him kind of trotting around first base.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I ever got up in Little League Baseball, I hit the ball to right field, and I proceeded to trot all the way down the first baseline, and I got thrown out. And my coach, I was 6 years old, my coach jumped out of the dugout and said, "My gosh, you run slow as a turtle." Now, that moment in time, combined with all the years I played baseball, which was a long time, I was not blessed with exceptional speed.
Okay.
So it stuck. And when I tell you it stuck, all she calls me is Turtle. There's people that I'm 58, I think.
Lose track after a while.
Yeah, I know. I'll be 61 this year, and I'm like, how am I? Like, yeah.
There's people that have known me for over 50 years
Yeah,
that do not know my real name.
that's hysterical.
Yeah, so it's
hysterical.
Turtle. Yeah,
So, what's your real name?
Wayne Evans.
Wayne.
Yes.
Okay, Wayne Evans. That's hysterical. And that, people call me U-Turn, but it's U-Turn LaVern. LaVern's my real name, so they know that part. So it's not like they just But to not even know your real name, that is very funny.
It's crazy.
I've had
It
people
is.
say, what is his real name?
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. But you're not gonna let him change it.
Not legally. No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's so cute, though. I love that story. You need to have something. Do you have anything on the wall at Deja Vu about Turtle?
I do not. I don't want Deja Vu to be about Turtle.
Oh
No.
I think y'all need to have like a caricature on the wall because y'all are super cute.
He's a character.
But I mean, y'all would make something. I mean, y'all could do like a little caricature. Karen,
Yeah,
could do
there you
that.
go.
You
Oh,
go, Karen.
Karen.
Come on, Karen. Paint them on the wall. But
I tell you, I think I'm there enough that I feel like I'm painted on the wall.
how funny.
Yeah.
How funny. Well, that's one thing. My husband and I ran a roofing company for 20 years. And honestly, it was a blessing, but I was so ready to be done.
Yeah.
Because it was 24/7. Because
constant.
if any water was coming in any kind of building that we'd ever touched, it was always us.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the windows, it could be the brick, it could be anything leaking other than the roof. But they always call the roofer.
Right.
So I mean, it was a wonderful experience, but it's hard.
It is hard. And that's kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's in any great marriage.
Yeah.
Businesses. It's another level.
Better believe it.
And before Turla and I did this, we not only was it a huge financial responsibility that we were taking on, but it was taken away. We're empty nesters.
Yeah.
We were able to go and do anything we wanted to, anytime we wanted to do it, and so we were giving that up too. Mm-hmm. And so we talked a lot and we prayed a lot, and we did not want to do this without it totally being apparent to us that it was God's will that we did it.
Yeah.
And so, and we love Springfield, and we wanted to be able to be in Springfield so that we could help our community. And there have been times that we have been able to help people, and in those days that we're so frustrated with the business and things going crazy and not going right, we can look back at those moments and think, you know what? It's all been worth it.
Yeah.
I did have a little story that I always like to tell people about a gentleman that came into our establishment. It's been a few months ago now, and he was an older gentleman, and he came in with a couple of ladies, and I was, I could tell maybe they weren't having a great day, but I didn't know what the story was, and so they came in and sat down, and I noticed he wasn't eating anything. So I just kind of walked over to the table and I said, hey, I'm Amy. My husband and I own Deja Vu. We're glad to have you. I hope everything goes well for you. And during that conversation, we started talking about church a little bit. And then they kind of shared their story that the gentleman that I was talking to had cancer.
Oh.
And his favorite thing in the world was ice cream. But because of his chemo, he had not been able to enjoy the ice cream because the cold really bothered him. And so I said, hey, let me try something. I said, let you pick out a flavor of ice cream. And I said, and I'm going to take it in the back. I'm going to stick it in our microwave for a minute and kind of warm it just a little bit, to kind of where it starts to melt. And I said, and then what if I put some hot fudge on it for you? I went and got him a kid's scoop, brought it out, and sat it in front of him. He ate, and I want to cry every time I talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
He ate the entire bowl. His wife cried after he got through, and she said, you do not know how much he loves ice cream, and he's not had any in months. And they came back in a couple more times, and I was able to give him, I said, anytime you come in, you're getting free ice cream from me.
Oh, I love it.
And he passed away. I did find out. But, times like that make everything that we have to go through some days worth it. To be able just to see a smile and to help people that, are having a bad day, or we've been able to help a family that lost a son. We had a fundraiser for them. And so, the Lord just blesses us by helping us to bless other people through Deja Mu. It's a ministry, and that's really what we, felt led, and that's why we felt led to do what we're doing right now.
Well,
I just love y'all. You're so
and I want to talk about that just a little bit also, is that, we only have two sets of eyes and two sets of ears. So we don't know everybody or everything that is in need. We've got two fundraisers coming up right now. One's for Redemption Ranch here in Springfield.
love them. Yep.
And the other one, and I cannot remember the name of it, is for an organization that helps children who are hearing and speech impaired.
Okay.
But anytime there is an organization or a family that's in need, you know what we do? What's called a spirit night.
Okay.
And when we have those spirit nights, what we do is we'll put it on our social media. We encourage the organization or the people, invite everybody put it all over your social media. We want to get as many people there as we can. And then we will give them a portion of our proceeds from that spirit night as a donation. But then the other part about that is we want to make it fun. We want to have a fun time. Yeah. And listen, we also do that for sports teams, school teams, anybody. That's what we're here for. So if you know of somebody who's in need, a family that's in need, if there's a nonprofit, please, please, please contact us. And I'm going to go ahead and give you my phone number. It's 615-593-9277.
Okay, do it one more time. Always for radio. Do it twice.
615-593-9277.
Awesome. I'm so pleased to meet you guys, and the door's always open, man. Get my phone number from Lee Marie,
okay.
And y'all text me, and I'll make sure too, because we were talking about how you can see this on YouTube. I'll send you the links to make sure we get you hooked up with that.
Okay.
Because y'all been awesome. Y'all are so much fun. And
Thank you for having
I
us.
could just sit here and talk to you guys all day. I think. Thank you again, and I will look. I'll come find you, and next time I'm in, I'll be like, I know you. They're the owners, so they're my friends. But anyway,
Find us. We're always there.
that's wonderful. My like I said, my grandkids love it. Love it.
Good.
Love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Amy and Turtle Evans, the owners of Deja Mu. Thank y'all for bringing us a great store.
Y'all have a good day.
God bless you too. And we're going to switch out and let Bill come on in here. Y'all can head on out and just make the switch while I talk. And we're going to just continue on with the show this morning. And we're going to let's talk about what's going on at Veterans Motorplex. My friends, of course, if you're going to follow Veterans Motorplex, what you need to do is go to the Highland Rim Speedway. Go to Highland Rim Speedway on social media. There you're going to find the big banner, Veterans Motorplex, and they are racing through the end of October, getting close. If you haven't been out to the races, you need to get out to the races ASAP because you've only got just a few more weeks of racing at Veterans Motorplex, the old Highland Rim Speedway. Bill, I'm going to have you switch those mics and go back to this one. But the old Highland Rim Speedway, it's at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. That's what we're talking about. And everything that you want to do as a family, remember, they have got a great ticket price for you. $40 will get you up to 6 kids and 2 adults in for one set price. So get out there before it's all over. Remember, they will also, you kind of want to plan ahead right now for the trunk or treat. I couldn't get the words out. The trunk or treat. They'll do a trunk or treat as we approach Halloween with the race cars. That's always an absolute blast. They've got, of course, racing coming up this weekend. The gates will open on Saturday at 4 p.m. Racing will start up at 6 p.m. You want to get out, get that ticket price for the family. They've also got an event happening this weekend. They want to remind you of. Now, this is up in Nashville. This is a big car, truck, and bike show that's happening at 2408 Music Valley Drive in Nashville. Now, it's going to be Friday and Saturday, but Veterans Motorplex is helping to sponsor that. Go to their social media page and just kind of get all the details on that event. But there's a lot of fun things planned this weekend at that car, truck, and bike show that they're helping to sponsor. Racing, again, gates open Saturday, 4 p.m. Racing starts at 6. Will go till about 9 o'clock. Always a great time. We had a blast out there a couple of weeks ago. I intend to get out there again before the season is over. If you have questions, call 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. Let them know U-Turn sent you. Bill Jones is in the house. He's my call whenever we have a cancellation. I appreciate you, my friend. Aaron, bless his heart. I try the reoccurring guests. I always try to check in with the night before, and we do Celebrate Recovery at Epiphany Baptist on Tuesday night, and I sing in the praise and worship band, and so we were trying to learn some new stuff last night. I didn't get home till 10:30, and so it just was one of those things. I just completely forgot to call him until this morning, and he didn't have a sitter. And
I'm always available.
Thank you, darling. Well, and I had some things I needed to talk to you about because I have I've really want to look into doing something with the shortwave radio in the classroom. I think it's something that is number one. I think it is in a way tied directly to the standards because it's from the history of broadcasting.
Right.
And so I'm getting ready to do a history unit as we come back from fall break. I'm going to do, because I want to share War of the Worlds and stuff as we approach Halloween. I thought that'd be fun. So I'm going to do a history unit there, but I want to cover this. And we've also got a student whose father is shortwave, and I can't remember his first name. I'll have to, Taff is the kid's name, and I think the dad's name's Taff too. Do you know a Taff?
No.
That does shortwave stuff. You might, if I'll check the names and get back with you. But we've got a student whose dad does this, and so he wants to do some stuff. And I was like, well, that's great because I have a friend that's. I mean, what is your position here with shortwave? Aren't you kind of the?
Well, we call it ham radio.
Yeah.
Shortwave covers a lot of territory.
Okay.
I'm a ham operator.
Okay.
I have a FCC provided call sign.
Okay.
I'm an FCC examiner. I've been doing it 50-something years.
So if I take the test, I got to test you.
Yes,
You'll
I'll test you.
You'll be the one that'll send me the test.
Me and 3 or 4 more others. We do it once a month, first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
We meet and do testing. And in order to pass the test, what you'll have to do is contact ARRL, American Radio Relay League in Newington, Connecticut. They have manuals that you can buy. They're not expensive. And it has all the questions and answers. They make it so easy now.
Okay.
Used to, when I took my test, there was nothing except just read some books,
Okay.
But anyway, it's very easy. And there are 3 steps, 3 different levels. The very beginning one is called a technician license, and it's really, I had a friend that failed the test a couple of Saturdays ago, and I thought, how'd you do that?
Didn't prepare at all. That's how you feel it. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty easy. You don't have to know a whole lot. But if you have ideas of doing big things, you got to have a lot of knowledge.
Okay.
On antennas and frequencies and radio waves and how radios work and that type of thing. Of course, the early broadcast station owners were ham operators. They all were in that family league of things back then, and it's a lot different back then than it is now. Now it's much easier, and back then you had to have a lot of electronic knowledge, and you don't have to have a lot of electronic knowledge now. But to go very far, here's a little handheld radio.
Okay.
I put up what they call a repeater back in early 1990s in Cross Plains. And what it is, it's a radio below a tower. And when I transmit here, I'm putting out 2 watts. It goes to the Cross Plains Tower, and then it sends it out at, I think it's 600 feet in the air, an antenna, which goes much further.
Sure.
Much further reach than this. So direct from one walkie-talkie to another, I may get 3-4 miles, 5 maybe. But that, I can go from here to Knoxville.
Wow.
So
Okay.
depending on what the situation, we have things that affect weather effects of radio waves. And sometimes, depending on the frequency used, you can go around the world. I have done moon bouncing signals off the moon coming back, talking to someone. I've
That's
talked to
so cool.
astronauts. And
What?
with this.
You've talked to astronauts in space.
Yeah, the first ones that went up that had ham radio license. I was driving down the interstate to Jackson, Tennessee one Sunday morning. I had this, and I talked to them.
That had to have just freaked you out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
blown your mind.
I got it on tape.
Oh, my. Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Well, I got to find it.
Oh, find it, Bill. I got to
the
hear
stuff.
that. I want you to come play that for my kiddos.
But it's only, you can only talk
That's
to them
so
just
cool.
for a minute or two because they're going over so fast. You only have just a few minutes.
Oh,
to
my
contact.
goodness.
This is, a lot of people are doing that now, but I did it when no one knew about it much, so I was able to get into them before others were because they didn't know about it.
That's cool, Bill.
I've had some really interesting experiences
Yeah.
on ham radio. With a Russian country, it was falling. I was talking to the man on top of this hotel. They were about to be overrun, and he wanted me to call Washington, D.C. and tell him all that, I've contacted ships at sea that were sinking, and I contacted the Coast Guard, and I told them their position and their coordinates to get them in there to get this ship.
Wow.
I've talked to Johnny Cash on the radio. I did a Channel 4 or 5, I forget which, he did a special one night on my station about a hurricane in the Dominican Republic. And so they came and sat down with a camera, and they watched me contact a man at the airport in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Let's see, where was it? Well, it was somewhere down there. I forget now. And about the hurricane.
Yeah.
So, and I told the guy, I said, you got to take a picture of my antenna before you leave. I built this thing, and it's huge, as long as this building. And so he did, which I was real proud of. So at 6 o'clock news, it comes on, and I was real proud of the antenna. But after it went off, my phone rang. It was Johnny Cash, and he said, I have a condominium down there, Dominican Republic, that's where it was. He said, I have a condominium down there. Could you possibly check to see if it's okay? And I said, well, it might take me a while.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my private number. So I found somebody just right next door to where he lives. That's so freakish accident, And the guy says, look, I'm hanging out of a window looking at his condo, and there's a palm tree down the front yard. That's all that's wrong. So I called him back. I told him. He said, that's amazing. I said, well, it is to me, too. I usually can't find somebody that fast, Can I have a friend call you? He has one down there, too. I said, yeah, but don't get his hopes up. I don't know if I can do it this quick.
This is so
in a few
crazy.
minutes, the phone rang. It was Chet Atkins.
No! Oh, my God.
I knew Chet Atkins had a ham radio license. He's had one for years. He's dead now, of course.
Yeah.
But he tells me, about his condominium. And okay, I said, I hope you understand. I may not find this information on you right away. Oh, yeah, I know about ham radio. I understand. So I found it within an hour. Somebody could tell me. So I called him back, and he says, that's amazing that you can do this. And I said, I play the guitar, learned when I was in college, and I'm amazed at how you can do it. I can't do it like that. You can't do it like I can because I do this all the time.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time on it. So that was very interesting, it just goes on and on. So many interesting things that happen to me because I talk to everybody in the world. I have the abilities and the antennas and the radios to be able to go around the world. You can't with this.
No.
You can only go local. And see.
I just got to tell you, Bill, I'm just blown away.
That's a Morse code that comes across the repeater and lets me know I coordinate that repeater, so I have another call sign. This call sign is given to me by the FCC, N4LB, and I picked it because when I was in my business, people call me LB, which stood for Little Bill. My dad was same name mine is. So they'd call him Big Bill and Little Bill. And so I picked the call sign N4LB. You can't pick them anymore, but they're not even available in these short call signs. If you get a call sign now, it's usually 3 letters, number, and 3 more letters. And the interesting thing about that, the prefix of every call sign tells you where you are in the world, or in the United States. And one day I came home. It was on a Wednesday. I remember it was raining, not anything to do, so I got on the air, and I heard King Hussein. Well, King Hussein and Don Payne, who was Payne Brothers here, were good friends. Don sold him a lot of ham radio equipment. So
hold it. What? Hold it. Say that again.
King Hussein,
you're blowing my mind. I'm
not going to tell you a tenth of it.
I've known you so long, and I've known none of this. So say that again.
King Hussein was a ham radio operator. He was a king of Jordan.
Yeah, I know.
Dead now. Yeah. He was a very nice guy. Talked to anybody. And so I heard him on the air, so I called him, and he answered me back, and we talked.
Oh my!
And I mentioned Don Payne. Oh yes, I know Don. Mr. Don's a good friend of mine, and blah blah blah. Don sold high-end ham radio equipment at the time, and he sold King Hussein 5 sets. I mean, it was $5,000 for this one radio and $5,000 for an amplifier, I think, about that time. And Hussein bought 5 sets and shipped them to his friends in the United States.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I wish I was his friend that close, but anyway.
That's amazing.
Anyway, we were talking. King Hussein's call sign his prefix was JY, which indicated the country of Jordan.
Okay.
So after that would be JY1, ABC, or something we'll call. Well, his call, he gave it to himself, JY1. That was his call.
Wow.
Well, you don't hear that anywhere. That's very unusual. In the United States, it'll be N4, N5, N6, or WB7. What part of the country you're at, what state you're in will indicate your call sign. So when I got through talking to him, there was a guy in New Jersey, and I knew his call sign was WB2, which was indicating where he was. And he breaks in, he wants to talk to, he didn't know it was King Hussein. He was fairly new, I suppose, and he broke in and he says, JY1, this is WB2, blah, blah, blah. And Hussein came back to him. Guy just wanted to talk to somebody from Jordan because it was
he thought it was
rare.
Cool. Yeah, it's like, didn't know it was the king.
So
this is crazy.
They talked there for a minute, and the man in New Jersey said, "I'm sorry, I did not get all your call sign. I didn't hear it right. All I got was JY1." And Hussein came back and says, "Well, that is all my call sign." And the guy said, "How did you get a call sign like that?" And it was a pause. He said, "'Cause I'm the king." And the guy in New Jersey said, "Oh, what's your name?"
So good. Oh my gosh! If you this is just epic, Bill. I am loving this. This is fabulous.
Ham radio was a lot of fun, but I have people that they want to get into it and they get the minimal license and they talk on the local stuff. We have a little club here too, and they get that's it because they don't. I mean, I've got a commercial license I got from the FCC, amateur radio license. I got radar endorsement. I got it all, and I've experimented with everything. I built my own antennas. I built my own radios. I built all kinds of stuff, and I really got into it. Most people don't. Yeah. And it's been very, very interesting. There was a man
fascinating.
There was a book. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Hang on. No. Okay.
A Man Called Intrepid. It was a movie out in the 1990s about this man. And if you've heard of James Bond, I guess.
Oh, sure.
Well, James Bond was taken after Ian Fleming was a writer who wrote the James Bond stories. And Ian Fleming went to a school in Canada that was set up by this man to teach you how to be a spy. You got a spy school during World War II.
Right.
And Churchill talked this guy into coming to the United States. And the United States wasn't in the war yet. And Churchill wanted William Stevenson to talk him into it. William Stevenson married a woman from here. If you know where Austin and Bell Funeral Home is, there's a big house across the street. Big house, That's where this woman lived. He married. He met her on a boat going to England. He was an Englishman, a Canadian really, but he knew he and Churchill were real good friends. And Churchill said after the war that because of him, the war ended 2 years earlier.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it would have been 2 years later if it hadn't been him. And he used ham radio operators to track Germans in South America. Now, I don't know what the Germans were doing down there, but he used ham radio operators to listen in on transmissions. And this was back in World War II. And so I called him. He was retired in the Bahama Islands. And so one Sunday, back when I called him in the 1980s, I was interested in this guy. You didn't hardly run across a picture of him. It was hard to find. Back then, I couldn't at all. He was so secretive. But I knew he married this woman from here who was kin to some other people that live here now. And so I called him up on a Sunday because phone calls were half price on Sunday than they were any other day. So I called him and I thought, I won't get him. But anyway, I called him. I forget where I got his number. And the lady that answered was a housekeeper. And his wife had already died, and I told her, I said, I'm a ham operator. I'm from Springfield, Tennessee. Well, that perked him up. He got on the phone, and we started talking. And
that's cool.
He knew some of the people I knew, and and I just said, I want to know about your. And he invented several things too. He was a pilot in World War I, got shot down, got put in prison, and I mean he was a very interesting guy. You can see by the thickness of the book.
Oh yeah.
And there's several books out, but. Very interesting guy. He finally died, I think, 1989 or something like that in his 90s. But that's just one example of how ham radio can be used and has been used. And now, today, if someone wants to get a license, they can get that little license manual. It may be $20. I don't know what it is. We have a club called Robinson County Amateur Radio Club, and we help people. We teach them, you come, we have programs, our first Thursday night of every month, we meet at a church where we also give the test. And we give programs that help people understand after they get their license or before, help them try to understand the basics of what you can do. And we're involved in weather balloons and tracking balloons. And we do all kinds of odd stuff that it's hard to explain. But it makes the world become so much shorter, so much smaller because, in the foreign countries, a lot of them, when you're talking to someone, you're talking of the upper echelon type person because there's no middle class.
We're not going to have radios.
A low class and a high class and no middle class. Right. So the lower class is not going to have a ham radio. The upper class is. So when you're talking to someone, you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
That has money or knows something.
Has some influence. We need to pause. I've got to pause here and take a break here. We're going to run out of time, Bill. We're talking with Bill Jones all about ham radio. And this is one of those things that I'm interested in because I want to teach it to my audio video kids. My husband is wanting to know if this is something you can bring in and talk to his criminal justice program. So we can talk about that. And I also want to challenge you. You need to write down about Hussein and all these people in a book. You need to write about all your experiences.
Right now,
but with Chet Atkins and Johnny Cash, those stories, I never heard you tell those. You need to write those down, brother. Okay, we're going to pause and we're going to talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gibson Gardening Center. There is a beautiful picture of the pansies coming in to bloom. They are getting ready to come to your yard for your fall color. A lot of people forget to bring those out because they are a cool weather flower. Now, somebody was asking something about them being perennials. I'm pretty sure pansies are annuals that you have to plant. Maybe they'll come back. Sometimes it's you can plant marigolds, and certain types of marigolds will come back. They reseed from the flower itself. So I don't know. We'll have to ask them about that. But I'm fairly sure that the pansies are perennials. Maybe are annuals, so maybe I'm wrong on that. But they've got the bottom line is they've got beautiful ones coming in right now, ready to come to your yard at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. All the things you need for fall. Get out there and talk to them today. Do not forget to go in the store, check out all the handcrafted items from Miss Jane. If you're going to have some gift items you're going to need pretty soon, what better than something handmade by Miss Jane, made so beautifully. And you can also introduce people in your life to CBD products. That may be something that they really need. There's all kinds of different items you can get that are infused with CBD. It helps me with my arthritis tremendously. I just can't say enough about it. Whenever the weather's changing, that's when that arthritic ache really gets you. And I can take a dose of CBD and it will help knock it out. It keeps me from having to take pharmaceuticals. It was recommended to me by the doctor who did my hip replacement. And he even knew the Corbins. That's what's so crazy. But that's another story for another time. Just go and talk to them. They're great friends. And again, great friends of this program. They're full-time sponsors. You can find them at 4920 Highway 161, 4920 Highway 161, or you can give them a call, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185 for Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. Always let them know U-Turn sent you. Okay, Bill Jones talking to, and there's so much. This is just fascinating. I had never heard the Johnny Cash, Chet Atkins story. Had never heard you talk about King Hussein. That's insane. These are stories that your families, you're going to want you to write down. So you need to write these things down. And if
I
you
got so much to write down now.
the recording, what was it you said you had a recording of?
I talked to an astronaut.
The astronaut.
Yeah, and going over, he was going around the world.
Find that tape. I want you to bring that in.
I've got so much stuff.
I know.
Good
but if you can, I want you to bring that in. I want us to do something right after fall break with the kiddos. We'll do like a ham radio part. We'll make that part of the history unit that we're doing at school. So we'll get that on the calendar. But now, how can this be applied in the criminal justice classroom? What would you come in and tell the criminal justice students?
I'll tell you one example I had. One day, City Hall, there was a policeman up in City Hall, and he left his little handheld walkie-talkie sitting on a table. A guy stole it.
Oh, no.
And so they didn't know. He was just giving them a fit. He was talking to them, cussing them and everything,
Oh, sure.
They didn't know where he was. And what are they going to do? The thing will go on for a couple of days without being charged or recharged. So this one guy knew me. There was a policeman. He called me. He says, any way you can track this radio down? I said, oh, yeah. We used direction finding equipment, in which I have. I've made it. It looked like a tennis racket. It's
so cool.
Like a little antenna.
That's so cool.
And so he said, I'll come pick you up. So we get in his car, and I do different things. What you have to do is attenuate the signal as you get closer, so you can tell. You use directions finding and antennas. And after I guess a couple hours, we started in the afternoon. We tracked him down. He was in a bedroom in a housing authority house. And I'll never forget where the house is. And so I told the police officer, I said, he's in that house somewhere. He said, okay. He said, you go around to the back. I'm going around to the front. Now, why I'm doing this, so I go around the back, and I had a walkie-talkie. I was talking to him. I said, the guy's sitting in the bedroom now on the edge of the bed talking on the radio. So he goes in the front door and catches him. Of course, that did that, but that's one way.
That's so cool.
It was.
How long ago was that?
Oh, a long time ago. The man is dead now. There's a policeman. That's been 30 years ago, probably.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
We do, every now and then, we have direction finding. It's called, we hide something, hide a transmitter, and then we find it. We try to find it. Our club members do that. I had to quit doing it because I found it every time when somebody else didn't. So I quit doing it. Somebody else will have to be the bird on the thing, but they call it fox hunting is what it's called. And I have a little antenna, a little directional antenna. I have all kinds of little things like that you use to look for it. And what I do, I go out in the park in the Springfield. So I have had them outside the city limits, but everybody hunts and hunts and hunts. So I take it to the park and I hide it. I have a little transmitter box that automatically sends a CW signal every minute. And And sometime before we'll use a person they find, and he transmit his qualification. You have to transmit every minute, and then let up, and then we drive around in cars. We used to do it in Nashville a lot, and we got stopped by a policeman one night because I had this antenna out the window. I'm doing like this,
That's
The guy
suspicious.
said, "What are you doing?"
That's funny.
I have to explain to him, but we use techniques, and signals will bounce off of a building. I know in Nashville we had a hard time because that would bounce off another large building, so you'd run one direction, it wasn't there because it's bouncing off. And so you'd have to figure it all out where the guy is, where the transmitter is. So we do all kinds of things like that. And
That's so cool.
and that can be used in police work. Some of these radios can be put on police frequencies, and I don't tell people how to do that. And I did that one time, and I accidentally transmitted on the police frequency, and they didn't know what it was. I didn't tell them either, but I don't do that.
Well, whenever I was doing traffic, I had a police radio that was I was allowed to have and had to be programmed. I mean, I had to take it to the police station up in Nashville to have it set to where I could hear dispatch. And, of course, I couldn't respond, And I suppose I could have, but I would have lost my privileges very quickly if I had done that. But I used to be really good friends with the dispatchers up in Nashville. I'd take them pizza and get them T-shirts concert tickets. Because, they're the ones that made my job easier. They helped me out tremendously.
Everybody could get police scanners, and now they use trunking, and you can't hear them. But how we can relate is, especially during weather events, hurricanes and tornadoes and things, we can work with the police, and we don't get out there and hunt criminals down or anything like that, but we give the background, where do you go to get some shelter? Where do you go to get food? And we can direct, have someone stationed here and someone here, and just relay information. We're not in the middle of any activity like police do, but
well, when emergencies
we're
happen,
prepared to do that.
When emergencies happen, cell phones do not. I mean, they've gotten better, but we were, revisiting the 9/11 situation, and Brian Wilson, who's on 99.7, was in Washington the day of, and he was talking. There's an interview he did here that I was listening to, and he was talking about how that when things happen, your cell phones don't work, and so in an emergency situation, I can't imagine. I'm from Mayfield that got wiped out by the tornado. I don't know what the situation was there, but I'm sure a ham radio operator would have been handy because there were towers down. I mean, all kinds of stuff happened. And when that tornado came through and took out not just Mayfield, but how many other towns? I mean, that was just a devastating.
Well,
night.
the reasons I work,
And
they're
those
battery
hand- yeah.
operated. And that repeater has a generator that kicks in if electricity goes off.
Right.
And we're pretty well solid all the time. That repeater I put up there a long time ago, it never goes down. And we go up there and rejuvenate it sometimes. We've replaced stuff and all that, but it's always there. The club anybody can use it if they want to.
Okay.
Coming through or anything. And some of them are tied into others. We can go clear across the country. From one to the other to California, which I've done that too.
Well, one of my radio stations, was the Clear Channel and would go out, but this is a different signal. We're out of time. I knew this would be fascinating. Let me go ahead and do my break, and then we'll say bye. But Bill Jones, always just a fun guest to have, and just you learn new things about him all the time. Oh my goodness! But let's talk about Cumberland Connect, affordable internet, good, reliable internet. It's so funny that Senator Roberts was in here Monday, still doesn't have it. He's getting close, though. The minute that Senator Roberts have it, you can pretty much assure that everybody in the county or everybody that is a Cumberland Electric customer has had access now. And that's the stipulation. You've got to be a Cumberland Electric customer to have Cumberland Connect. I know Bill and I both are gig club members, and it's just $80 to get a gig. And I know my children say that's like filling a bathtub with a fire hose, but I can, so why not? And as I did a photography shoot. I did a photo shoot on Monday, and the pictures turned out fabulous. I cannot wait to share them with the sweet girl whose pictures I took, and I can do that from my home now. I don't have to come to the radio station to upload pictures. It's just wonderful. If you've been in the world of low-speed internet and to have it available to you, it just changes everything. And they've got affordable connectivity program too, providing qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services. It's that easy, that wonderful. And if you have questions, call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, and you can go to Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org to find out more. Bill Jones, parting words, my friend.
If you want to know more, just put a little blurb on the internet on the LaVern Show, or N4RCA is another ham radio call I have for Facebook or our repeater. You can get on there and ask questions, and I can answer anything.
Well, and I'm going to take I'm going to get this. I've got to finish my education, my EPP, my Education Preparedness Program, but that's next. As soon as I get through this, I want to get certified, and let's get this going. We can do it.
Good. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. Stay tuned. Lee Marie and The Ghost Show. They're up next. God bless.